Hello, guys. I'm about to stomp in a little. Yeah, I'm good. I'm gonna stomp this little goon's head in.
Yeah, you're right, by the way. That argument wasn't valid.
Yeah, obviously.
Yo, wait. Yo, can you hear me? Test?
Yeah, I hear you.
You can hear me? Okay, bet. So yeah, what again? What did you say you wanted an argument for? I forgot.
I want an argument for theism.
For theism being true. Oh, okay. So again, who's your partner? This what's up? The mob guy?
Premise one.
You. So
wait, you know me on TikTok?
Premise one. Wait, why do I need to give it formally again?
Matter.
Just unclear.
What's premise one of the argument?
Did you say a mob?
No, you said what's up.
Oh.
I told him mob anyways, so I told him on TikTok. So
did Apollo talk shit about me? I could. Did you say mob?
I don't even remember. He was talking shit about everyone, so it doesn't even matter. Is this guy here? What's premise one of the argument?
It would just be weird because I don't even know him. Alright, free to goat.
I'm gonna need to write it on my phone because my PC is so bad I can't open up another thing and write.
Free to go.
Hello. Now we can hear you. What's premise one?
Hello.
Yeah, what's premise one?
What the fuck? Wait, say something?
Hello.
Yeah, I can't hear you. Wait, give me a second. I'll be literally back in a second.
He's lying. He doesn't have an argument. He's coming back. Anime debaters. So these people actually have incredible evidence that they do stuff like this. I actually am in a position to say he's running a ChatGPT or something like that, unironically, which is fine.
Really? You think so?
Yeah, no, I'm not even trolling. These people actually do that stuff. So with him, he actually, when I made the joke that he's running to ChatGPT, it's actually likely this guy. But dude, why is my Steam opening up? I need a new PC so bad. Windows security. Should I close that? Yeah, I can't even close that. Yeah, I need to close everything so my PC runs. My PC is so ass.
Oh my god,
hello? Hello?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
Hello, you there? Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you now.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah. What's premise one of the argument?
I got him. What did you say, sorry?
What's premise one?
What? Premise one? Wow. Wait, why didn't you give it formally again?
I didn't say it has to be formal. What's premise one of the argument?
Wait, but you do realize if I do premise one, premise two, and conclusion, you realize what that is, right?
An argument's a sequence of premises and a conclusion. Do you have an argument or you don't? If you have an argument, what are the premises?
An argument, I don't know why I need to do premise one, premise two format. That is something
you're not equivocating on argument.
What are you even talking about? Wait,
by argument,
just give me an explanation.
By argument, I mean a sequence of premises and a conclusion. You have that?
Is it premises? What? That is oh my god, no. I don't agree to that, no.
I'm not asking if you agree to anything. I didn't ask you if you agree to a proposition. I'm asking you if that's what you mean.
And I just told you I don't agree to that. So obviously
that's not what you mean. So you are equivocating.
Probably say,
okay. So you don't have an argument.
I'm not equivocating. I'll just give you. No, I have an argument, but the argument doesn't have to be premise one, premise two. If I tell you,
then you are equivocating.
If I tell you,
you are equivocating. Is the mic cut out? Or is that me? No, that's not me.
No, I can still hear you.
He's already off the start. He's gonna quibble about
the unstable frost fire. Shotgun. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Oh, remember.
He's not gonna have it.
I have to respond to someone else in TikTok. I'm in Discord.
This is so ass.
Okay, so do you have an argument without equivocating? The sense of argument I'm using, do you have an argument? He's out again. Lights out.
Let's keep doing that. Both of you left at the same time. What the fuck?
I don't know. I don't know how I accidentally joined Discord call on mobile. It's weird, but are you there?
Yo, hello, test.
Yes. Can you hear?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So look, do you have an argument by the same sense of argument I'm asking for?
Like premise 1, premise 2, or just like...
Yeah, when I ask for an argument, I'm asking you if you have series of premises and a conclusion. Do you have that or not?
In a sense, like a formal, format?
Nope,
No,
not a formal
I mean,
format.
I
didn't ask for a formal format. I'm not asking for a formal format. I'm not asking for that.
It takes like a very, very, very...
I'm not asking for that.
I really don't want
Great, I'm not asking for that. I'm just asking if you have a series of premises and a conclusion.
You realize I can have that and still...
Just yes or no? That's not an answer. I'm asking yes or no. Do you have an argument?
I have an argument,
but
do you,
I've already defined argument, right?
Answer my question. I'm not going to let you dodge. Answer my question.
Hold on, but we got to get clear. You have an argument.
I am not going to let you dodge. I answered your question. Answer mine.
I didn't hear the... Let's just get clear the answer, and we can have you ask your...
Instead of asking another question.
I'm not asking a different question.
Yes, you did.
No, I just asked if you had an argument. That was the same question.
And I told you.
Yes, no, maybe so. And this guy's out again, I'm assuming. This is gonna... Both this guy's extremely low tier, and then he's like constantly cutting out. It's really annoying. Hello.
I don't know what's going on.
I'm starving. I'm gonna make... I don't know how long he's gonna take. I'm gonna try and just throw a pizza in my toaster oven and see. Oh,
okay.
He's back already, so... You there?
I am there. So my internet is gonna be in like the first 5 minutes is gonna be cutting out. Because I just restarted my PC.
That's fine.
So, yeah,
so
that's
just,
going to be unfortunate.
Do you have an argument?
Continue.
Okay, do you have an argument?
Yeah, I have an argument, and again,
okay, what's premise 1? What's premise 1?
What's the answer to my question? What?
What's premise 1 of the argument?
Phil Bro shit taught you to do this? Or like Phil Bro retard taught you to do this? It was probably your boyfriend Mason, but I didn't ask you that. I asked you something else. Can you answer my question?
What's premise 1 of the argument?
Are you not... Can you not answer my question?
You're not answering mine.
What? I answered your question.
What was premise 1?
Wait, I answer your question. Can you answer
your task right now is to render the argument.
I'm not going to answer 2 for no questions. 1 for 1.
Okay, render the argument.
So I want an answer to my question. What is an answer to my question?
Okay, render the argument.
The shit that your boyfriend Brain Mason taught you, but I don't care for your engagement.
Okay, render the argument.
Your Phil Bro debaters and your Phil Bro friends. I
don't care about the meta. Oh, what's the argument?
Can you give that or no? Yes or
what's
no?
the argument?
Yes or no? That wasn't a yes or no.
Great. What's premise 1?
Yes or no? I'll give you 3 more chances though. You're almost there. Right? So I'll ask you again. Is it that a yes or a no?
So premise 1 is that a yes or no?
So yes or a no?
So premise 1 is that a yes or a no?
Yes or a no. So so is not an answer to my question. Yes or no?
So premise 1 is yes or no.
Okay, yeah, we're done. When you can answer my question, we can do it again. I'm gonna give you... Wait, actually, I'm gonna give you 3 more chances. 3 more chances because I'm so charitable to you for some reason.
I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm still gonna ask for premise 1.
Or a no? Is that a yes or a no? You have 2 more tries. 2 more tries. Yes or a no?
So premise 1 is that a yes or a no?
So that's another dodge. Is that a yes or a no?
Okay, so premise 2 is that a yes?
Okay, so yeah,
premise
1. We're done. Yeah, when you're ready to...
I'm just asking you to render the argument. You can't even do that. I wonder if he unadded me. He might just leave the group chat.
Is that it?
I didn't know he was going to be so low level. He was going to run away like this, but...
Okay, so I got called back.
What's premise 1?
My question?
What's premise 1?
Do you have an answer to my question? I'm not doing this. Was it a yes or a no?
So you're not going to give the argument unless I answer your question.
No, I will give you... You know what? I'll give you argument if you want me to. I just want an answer to my question.
So you're not going to give the argument to this question's answer?
No, I'll give you the argument when you answer my question.
No, but if you're saying no, then you could just give the argument.
Again, what is the answer to my question? I'll give you the argument.
I asked you if you're only going to give the argument if I answer your question. You said no. Okay, so then what's the argument?
I said yes.
No,
I said yes.
You literally said no. You're not even tracking what you're saying, but okay, so then what's the question? I'll answer the question, and then hopefully we get the argument. Okay. What's the question?
So, can you give me an explanation to why I need to give an argument in premise 1, premise 2 format instead of an explanation which can contain premises?
That's analytically, look, by argument, I mean a series of premises and a conclusion. I defined argument for you, then I asked you if you had an argument, you said yes. And I asked you if you're equivocating, and you said no. So that means you're using the sense of the word argument means a series of premises and a conclusion. So then I asked, what's premise 1? Now you're just flipping and flopping. I'll just make it easy. I won't use the word argument because you're retarded. Do you have a series of premises and a conclusion where the conclusion is God exists?
So the answer to that question is yes. Now,
okay, premise 1 being...
Something you said... Wait. You said something before. You said so many retarded shit that I first need to engage with. So the first thing is... you said that an argument... By the way, an argument... Like, for example, if I give you an argument to dinosaurs exist because evolution is true, no matter how dog shit you think the argument is, there is still an argument for why dinosaurs would exist. Right?
What's premise 1?
I don't need to give you the premise 1 or premise 2 and a conclusion, right? But because I'm so charitable...
No, that's just what argument means.
Like you, premise 1 is just going to be like this, right?
That's just what argument means in this context.
I will formalize it for you, right? Because I'm so charitable
what do you think I'm asking for when I... What do you think I'm asking for when I ask for an argument?
One is going to be this, right?
Hold on.
Hold on. What you asked for.
I'm clarifying because you said I said something retarded and then it seems like you're not tracking. What did I say I meant by argument when I asked for an argument?
Series of premises which lead to a conclusion.
And you just said that an argument doesn't need a series of premises. Are you equivocating?
No. Do you know what equivocating means?
So if you're using the same sense of the word, right? Where the sense of the word I'm using...
What do you think equivocating means?
Hold on. Where the sense of the word I'm using is just a series... Is a series of premises and a conclusion. And you're saying it doesn't need premises. That just forms a contradiction.
So no, it doesn't, right? And you didn't still give me an explanation to what you specifically think equivocating is. But again, I will tell you again.
By equivocation, I mean changing the sense of the word used in a conversation.
Okay, so, okay, sure.
You changed the sense of the word, dumbass.
Again, I didn't.
But then there's a wait, but then that means there's a contradiction. Are you contradicting yourself or no?
I didn't interrupt you.
Are you contradicting yourself or no?
So I didn't interrupt you once. Stop doing that.
Contradicting yourself or not?
Okay.
Let's calm down with the rhetoric and let's just engage.
I didn't interrupt you once.
So listen, I'm asking if you claimed you can give an argument that dinosaurs exist, where the argument does not have premises, and using the same sense of the term argument, an argument's a series of premises and a conclusion. That means you can offer a series of premises without serving me a series of premises. Do we agree that's contradictory? Yes or no?
Well, I'll let you ramble.
Do we agree? Do we agree that's a contradiction?
Is that it?
Do we agree that's a contradiction?
No. Before you interrupted me like so rudely.
Do we agree? Do we agree that's a contradiction?
Wait, that's all you said for like the past like 10 minutes, ramble. Holy fucking shit.
Do we agree that's a contradiction?
Why would I answer any of your questions? You didn't answer like 3 of mine.
I'll give you 3 attempts.
One of yours.
I'll give you 3 attempts.
That right now.
I'll give you 3 attempts.
What is my question that I asked you?
Do we agree that's a contradiction? 1.
That's not what I asked you. What is my question?
Do we agree that that's a contradiction 2?
This low tier shit that people told me about, this Mason goons shit. Oh my fucking god, you're so ass.
3rd attempt.
What is an answer to my question?
3rd attempt.
No, I'm not answering your question. I'm not answering your question because you're in question that right now. That's what.
So you're avoiding. Why are you avoiding my question?
You cannot answer my questions, so I'll ask you the question again. Is the argument dinosaurs exist because evolution is true, right? Is that an argument? Yes or no? Okay, why?
It's not a series. There was no series of premises and a conclusion.
Okay, so when your mother tells you need to eat because that's how you're going to be healthy, you don't think that she's giving you a reason or an argument?
She's not giving an argument now.
Okay. So that is retarded. That is straight gibberish. And I
don't know what you're... Do you think she is giving me premises?
What do you think premises are?
Wait, do you think she's giving me premises?
No. She's giving you a reason.
Wait, you just said she's not giving me premises. Wait, but look, if argument means a series of premises and a conclusion, and you're agreeing she's not giving me premises, how's it retarded? How's it? What don't you agree to?
Because you're presupposing that the conclusion, which is that an argument is a series of premises which lead to a conclusion. I didn't agree to that.
That's not a proposition. That's just what I mean by the word. I've defined this several times. I told you when I'm asking for an argument, I'm asking for a series of premises and a conclusion. That's what I'm asking for. I asked you if you had an argument, and I defined argument, and you said yes. And now you're going around doing all this stuff where you're saying argument and you're not equivocating. You mean the same sense of the word, where argument means series of premises. Then you're saying it's retarded when my mom doesn't give me premises, but says this is a reason? Like, you're not making any sense. Is my mother giving me premises there or not?
Right?
No fucking perfect sense. I'm saying it's not retarded. Wait, but that's what I mean. Wait, but that's what I mean by argument.
That's what you're not tracking.
But that means. But you said you're not equivocating.
A reason.
But you said you're not equivocating.
A reason that leads to...
Wait, but you said you're not equivocating.
That's what I mean by the argument.
Okay, but that's equivocation.
But then you were going to disagree with that definition, but I'm just going to ask you again.
You can't disagree with definitions.
Premises are.
You can't disagree with... Hold on, you said multiple retarded stuff. The first thing is you can't disagree
So you're
with
gonna copy me,
definitions.
sure. Copy me. I allow for my children to copy me. Go ahead.
Can we calm down with the rhetoric?
No, because you
No.
did this shit first.
I was not being
Obviously,
rhetorical.
I'm gonna calm down on you. I'm gonna bully you. Well,
I was not
bully
being
you too.
rhetorical.
Obviously, I'm gonna do that. Right?
That's
Do you know
cool.
why I'm gonna do that? Because you.
I actually don't
first.
care.
You didn't start it. We could have had a conversation, but
I
that's not what we're
wasn't
gonna do
using
right now.
rhetoric in
I'm
the
just gonna
beginning.
bully you.
What was the rhetoric I did in the beginning? I just asked you if you had an argument.
No, not on this recording specifically, but I'm telling from like before, from what we had. You did use that. And
Before
you're being
when?
heavily dishonest.
Being dishonest how?
You were being dishonest. So you're not tracking again. You were being dishonest before this recording. That's what I said. So you're not. That's tracking issue number
So
one.
why is that a
You know
reason
what?
for you to be
Sure.
like this
Since you
now?
launched
I don't
another
get it.
question to what premises are.
How
I
about we just have a cordial conversation? You forget the past, stop being weird and clinging on to like events that I don't remember. And how about you chill with the rhetoric and you actually engage? You're being really cringe with the rhetoric and you're not engaging at all. Now you said you're not. You said that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You're just doing more rhetoric. You're just doing more rhetoric as you speak.
Monkeyboy.
I was in the middle of a sentence before you just did the rhetoric.
No, I'm granting your wish. I'm granting your wish.
Just hold on. Hold on. Not in the middle of my sentence.
Calm down. You wanted a cordial
But that's
conversation, and I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, I will let you speak in a moment.
Why are you interrupting me? Why are you interrupting me? You
Because
wanted a cordial
no,
conversation, you weirdo.
because
You're
you're
a hypocrite. You're a little hypocrite. Let me
You're
speak.
in the middle.
You wanted a cordial conversation.
I'm
right?
gonna
So I'll do this.
hold on. You're doing the rhetoric. Look, just
I'm
listen.
not doing the rhetoric. You're being a hypocrite. You wanted a
No,
cordial conversation. When it's my time to speak,
I
you're
was
interrupting me.
no.
We will do this.
Hold on. I was in the middle of a sentence before you interjected. I was saying
I was
that.
in the middle of 30 sentences, you interrupted me with a question that you threw
Hold
out.
on. Look,
like after, sorry,
let's
after
just
my question.
look. Let's just try this again. So you're not equivocating on argument. Is that right?
You're not, no, I don't think so.
So you're using the same meaning of the word argument that I am.
No, that doesn't follow.
So you are equivocating.
No.
Equivocation.
Do you think your definitions are true?
Definitions are in propositions.
Do you think your definitions are true?
I just said definitions are in propositions.
Okay. So do you think your definitions, right, are the ones we're supposed to use in a conversation?
That's not what I'm saying either. No, I don't think so.
Okay. So then how does it lead that I'm not using your definition to I'm equivocating? How does that follow?
So equivocation is when you change the sense of the word in a conversation. I asked you if you had an argument, and then you said yeah, and I already had defined argument as a series of premises and a conclusion, and then you said yeah, and then you told me you're not defining an argument as a series of premises, meaning you're using the same word and you're changing the sense. Now, given you're using a different sense of the word, that's equivocation.
Okay, is that it? So that I'm not interrupting you? Okay, so first of all, I'll grant you your wish. We'll have a cordial conversation. No interruptions. Me and you just purely speaking, okay? No rhetoric. I'll be calm, okay? So to answer the point, equivocation, right, I'll give you an example, which is better than just what you said. So the equivocation is just going to be something like, if the standard definition for a dog was a animal, for example, that encompasses trait of having, that encompasses properties like 4 legs.
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Some size, blah, 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 right? And then
Can I ask a clarifying question?
Okay, I mean, we kind of said that we are not going to do interruptions, but because it's a clarifying question, I'm going to allow it, sure.
You're not equivocation, are you?
No.
Okay, so by equivocation, you just mean using a different sense of the word.
Then a standard definition.
No, not then no, that's not what I defined it as. That would be equivocation. By equivocation, I mean that one had authored the word in a conversation, and the same word is used with a different sense, either by you or by me.
With a different sense? Okay. So, different sense than what?
Sense, as in meaning.
And what meaning? Your meaning or standard meaning?
My meaning.
Your meaning?
Yes.
Okay. So, again, what was your meaning? Okay, so if you want to do that, why would my definition, which is not in alignment with yours, right? Why would I grant that that's something which is an equivocation?
Because if you're granting the meaning's not the same, how's the meaning not the same? What? I don't even... Equivocation is when you have the same word, you use a different meaning. You just asked me, how is it equivocation if I mean something different? That's just what equivocation means.
Yeah, but that's presupposing that I have to agree to your definition.
No, that's not presupposing. Again, you can't agree to terms because terms and definitions are not propositions. That's just a category error. And I'm not asking you to agree to anything. When I ask you a question like, do you have an argument? There's some specific content that the word captures. There's something I mean when I convey inquisition. And the answer would be appreciating what I mean. Now, if you're just changing the sense of what I'm saying, then you're not answering my question. If I said, do you have a bank near your house? And by bank, I mean a financial building. And by bank, you mean river. And you say, yeah, there's a river near my house. You're not answering my question.
So then I'll ask you this. This is a clarifying question, right? If you define, let's just say, dogs as animals with 4 legs, right? I don't agree to the definition, and I presuppose automatically that you're going by my definition, right? And my definition is, let's just say, dogs are meteors that are gonna fall down on Earth tomorrow. If I asked you, do you think dogs are gonna fall from the sky tomorrow, right? Do you and you tell me, well, no, dogs are not falling from the sky, and then I tell you, well, yeah, they do, and we then clarify on our definitions. Do you think I'm equivocating if I'm not agreeing to your definition?
Yeah. First,
okay.
There's no such thing as agreeing to definitions. That's a category error. I'm sure you're familiar with rudimentary logic and philosophy. Definitions are not they're not truth bearers. So agreeing to agree is to have an affirmed attitude towards a proposition. That's what an agreement is. Definitions are not propositions. That's also obvious. It's not even philosophical. That's just like pumping in English, right? Inquisitions are not declarative statements. So propositions are not questions. So definitions or semantics are also not declarative statements. So I'm just asking you if you have a series of premises and a conclusion. There's no such, I don't even know what you mean by agreed to definitions. I don't care about that because whatever that means, I'm not even asking for that. I'm just asking if you have premises and a conclusion. What's complicated?
Okay.
So obvious.
So I'll do this. I'll give you my definition.
No, it doesn't matter. I just want to know.
Argument.
That's fine.
Wait, hold on.
But
I'll let you finish.
I only want to
finish. But that is not fair. I'll let you finish. We had a cordial conversation.
I know, but I'm going to explain why I'm interjecting. I am not interested in your definition.
Yeah, but I wanted to interject you like 3 times, but I didn't interject you. So that is not fair, right?
So in the future, we can interject as long as you offer reasons as to why you're... Okay.
That is fair, and I agree to that, but now that I didn't interject you, can you give me one statement? Everything else you can interject me after. But just this once, because I didn't interject you during your statement, can you not interject me during this one?
Okay, I just want to be clear, though. I do not care about your definition. So don't put that on the table. We don't even need to know what you mean by argument.
Okay, but that is an issue, right? Because if I don't think your definition... Okay, so wait, what do you think by definition, just so for clarity?
The meaning of what it utters?
Okay, now, do you think that me and you can have different meanings of a set utterance or a word?
Yeah, but that doesn't matter because I've informed you what I mean by argument. Now that you know the meaning, I want an answer to the question. So if you have a different meaning, informing me your meaning wouldn't tell me whether you have an argument.
Yeah, but do you realize that if you have a different meaning, which I do... in a sense which I don't hold for a certain word, right? Then me giving to something which I don't agree to is... You can agree to definitions. It's something that I do not hold. Is like kind of to me...
What does it mean to hold?
Something which I don't want to do.
The definitions. You mean that's not how you define the word? That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter.
But that is the problem. That is an issue, right? Because if I don't define a meaning like... if I don't define a certain term like that, right? And then I am supposed to define it like that, yet I don't.
You're not supposed to define it that way. I'm not saying that. Look, you're doing a very low-level blunder. You're jumping from I define something to this to some normative statement about I should define it that way.
That is fine.
That's not rhetoric. I'm saying look, obviously me define a descriptive statement about what I mean to a normative question about whether you should define that way has no connection. That's obviously low level. It's not even rhetoric.
Hey,
there's no reason to think from the fact that doesn't matter. That's what I'm explaining right now. Yes.
But then I can just say that yours doesn't matter. So what now? Oops, you didn't think that one through. So that's a low blunder from you, Monkeyboy. So you realize how that's done.
Hold on. No, it doesn't matter because I'm not asking you to either use my definition or anything. Now that you're informed what I mean when I ask if you have an argument, I just need an answer to the question. Do you have an argument? Which we can just translate that statement to, do you have a series of premises and a conclusion? Those are logically Those are logically equivalent.
And for clarity, before I give that premise one, there is no other way you want an explanation to why God exists. It has to be a series of premises. Because by the way, that's not a standard definition, but that doesn't matter. You just want a P1, P2, and a conclusion. Even though that's not a standard definition. But I know that you have some retarded definitions, but that is fine.
I don't know where you're getting it's not standard. Within epistemology, when you go into like
just so we're clear, first definition, right? Is
hold on. Let's just cut the meta. Let's just cut the meta. It's fine.
Just so we're clear, an exchange of diverging.
I literally just want to.
A heated or an angry
one. That's fine.
Second,
but hold on.
Just so we're clear,
but I said I'm not. I said I'm not interested.
I don't know where I'm getting that. It's not a standard definition. I'm telling you.
I'm talking about in philosophy. Hold on. I'm talking about in the context of philosophy. So when you're talking about epistemic justification, how arguments are cashed out in epistemic justification, in epistemology, if you go to sections like justification, like I could possibly right now, if I wanted to pull up Stanford Encyclopedia, and the way an argument's defined is just series of but I'm not even going to do that. It doesn't matter. We don't have to dispute empirical shit. Obviously, I don't know why you'd be talking about non-philosophical sense of argument. That's just really uncharitable. None of this matters. I don't care about other definitions. I just want to know if you have a series of premises and a conclusion.
Just so we're clear, philosophically, just to dispute what you said.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't.
Wait, it does matter. It does matter. So I will.
Oh my God.
Wait, hold on. It does matter because you said something. You made a claim, which I'm trying to refute. So it does matter because it's philosophically, epistemologically, or sorry, epistemically to be precise. Even whichever theory, it doesn't matter if it's Bayesian, doesn't matter what theory of justification you take. Definition, which is a set of reasons which lead to a certain conclusion, action, or a theory, that's something which is an argument, right? And by that definition, I can give you that, which is accepted, and I can give you that argument for why theism is true, right? But and I will tell you premise 1 just so we can.
All of that wasn't an answer.
Didn't you hear anything that I just told you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so next time
I'm asking you.
I'm just gonna hear what you're saying. So unless you want to have a conversation,
I literally. The question was
I'm not
just.
gonna do what you're doing.
Okay, the question was just if you had an argument.
Okay, so now can you repeat what I said?
I can't.
Okay, so that is an issue, right? I will engage with you when you listen to what I'm saying. Are you gonna listen to what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I feel I have the right to ignore it when it's not relevant.
Yeah, but then I also feel like this is also irrelevant. Does that give me a right to not listen to you and not engage what I'm saying? No.
It's irrelevant if you have an argument?
And it's... Yeah, to me, if I'm somebody who doesn't want to engage with you completely and listen to you...
Arguments are irrelevant. Why are we even having this conversation?
Irrelevant, right? So I can do the same thing.
But an argument for theism being irrelevant, why would we have this conversation if it was irrelevant?
Yeah, and I'm telling you, because under your sense of what a quote-unquote argument is, to me, that is just going to be irrelevant, right?
Okay. Do you have an argument?
An argument for theism is something that I have, but you're ignoring it because you want to have and you went on a relevant thing, which is like a definition of what an argument is, and that completely was relevant to me. I listened to you, I refuted that, and now we're at this point in time. Now you didn't listen to me when I told you what an argument actually is, even philosophically, and given the normal folk language, right? How it is, like how people actually use it. I gave you both, and you still didn't listen to me. Now I will repeat the definition of an argument to you. I'll give you that argument.
I just need an answer to my question, if you can.
And I'll give you the argument under your definition.
But just yes or no, you have an argument.
So the answer to that is yes, I do have an argument.
No, but okay, and remember what that translates to. Do you have a series of premises and a conclusion?
A reason or a set of reasons given in support of an idea, action, or theory. That is what an argument is.
So no, that's equivocation. I'm asking you.
That's not equivocation. That is the thing you're running into because you have no standard to what a definition is. Right? You have no standard to which way you judge definitions, right? And that is the reason why you think equivocation.
I'm just asking if you have an argument by the sense of argument used here.
So, Monkeyboy, right? Did you again?
Wait, but don't ask me a question. Wait, don't ask me a question. We're still on
this is a clarifying question. Wait, this is a clarifying question.
It doesn't matter. I'm still waiting to have my question answered.
Answer your question, can I?
We'll tie up my question, then I'll answer any questions you have.
Oh, okay. So the answer to your question, right? Wait, so if I give you P1, P2, and a conclusion, will you answer my questions?
Yeah.
Okay. So P1 is just going to be this. P1. Are you writing it down, or do you just want me to tell you?
Just tell me.
Okay. P1. If some theory T explains the certain data equally whilst positing the less entities, then it is true, given the principles of ontological economy, that theory is going to be the more probable one. Did you track that?
Mm-hmm.
Hello? You there?
Yeah.
You tracked that? Okay. So can we go on premise 2?
I've been waiting.
Oh, okay. I just didn't hear you. I want a confirmation, sorry. Premise 2.
I confirmed.
Account. Whilst positing less entities.
You cut out.
Equal... What? What is that?
You cut out.
Oh, sorry. I'll repeat it. Premise 2 is... theist account, whilst positing less entities, equally explains the data in comparison to atheist account, so naturalism or whatever account you take. Conclusion, hence why theism is going to be the more probable conclusion. Now, premise 3 is, if a certain theory is more probable, then it is true that I'm justified in believing that that theory is true. And conclusion 2 is just going to be that I am justified in believing that theism is true. Is that the justification that you wanted?
Yeah, this is an argument finally. So much time just wasting to offer this.
Can you answer my question? Monkeyboy, hello.
Hello.
Oh, you're there. You're there. Can you not answer my question?
I'm. Are you? Is your like headphones cutting out?
No, I'm just like maybe it's my recording, maybe it's me, but I can't hear you all the time, so I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I'm cutting out.
Yeah, I'm just waiting.
Oh, you're waiting. Okay. So the first question was, did you listen to anything that I told you, and do you have a response to that?
To what? The argument you just laid out?
The thing that I stated. No, not the argument. The thing that I stated before the argument. We can get to the argument later.
And what thing in particular?
Did you listen to the thing that I said about definitions, a standard that you need to have for definitions, and what my definition of an argument is?
No.
Okay, so I'll repeat it to you.
Do we really need to talk about this?
Yeah, because when this is over, right? I'll explain to you how this P1, P2 thing is really unnecessary, and how this way of argumentation is really not something that how we should be engaging, and I can actually give you a clear response to your question.
But you understand that, right? My claim is that an argument's not necessary. You don't need to give me an argument.
No, your definition of argument is not necessary.
What does that even mean?
Your definition, which was a set of premises which leads to a conclusion, is not a definition that we need to go by.
What does it mean to say my definition is not necessary?
I just told you.
I didn't hear it.
Oh my god. Am I cutting out to you, or are you
no,
just...
No, it just seems like the answer. But just repeat it.
Okay. What I mean by an definition is not necessary, your definition is not necessary, is that your definition, the definition which is a set of premises which lead to a conclusion, is not something we need to go by. Is there any term which is unclear to you?
What does need to go by mean?
Need to go by is not the one that is we have a logical, I cannot say necessity, but it's logically, how do I say, what word do I substitute a need for? Yeah, I can just say, yeah, I will just say this, that there's no logical necessity for the way we define words.
I'm not okay. What is that responding to? It's not. That was never my claim. I agree with that.
What that was responding to is that when this is done, right?
But I didn't say I agreed with this.
Premise 1. Oh wait, you agree with this? Okay.
Yeah, now, this is like from the very beginning of the conversation.
But you did. Oh my god, my throat is hurting.
You good?
From the start of the conversation, you thought I was equivocating
because
I wasn't using your definition, and I was using a standard definition of what an argument was.
That was equivocation.
I was equivocating. Right?
But you agreed it was.
Because I was substituting. No, I didn't agree to your definition. I just said that under
your that's not what I asked you.
An argument.
Or sorry, that's not even what I said. I didn't say you agreed with my definition. I said you agreed you equivocated.
No, I didn't. I never agreed that I
equivocated. Yeah, you literally said you're defining argument. Wait, literally said you're defining argument differently. Remember?
Just because I'm defining it differently than you doesn't mean that I'm equivocating.
No, that's what I mean.
That's the thing you're running in.
That means you're equivocating on equivocation.
That is not an equivocation.
Do you mean the same thing as... Okay, but when I'm saying you're equivocating, to be clear, what I'm saying when you're saying you're... When I claim you're equivocating, what I'm saying is that you're defining a word differently.
Oh, yeah, and you said differently than you. And I said that I don't agree to that. I already said I don't agree to that.
You don't agree you were defining your word differently than me?
No.
So you were defining the word argument.
Of equivocation.
No, I'm not asking you if you agree. Again, I don't even know what that means, but I'm never asking you that. Right? To be clear, I'm never going to be asking you if you agree to a definition. Who's competent in philosophy knows that doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even matter. I'm not asking you if you agree to my definition. I'm asking, do you agree under my definition you're equivocating?
Under your, sure. But
that's what I've been saying. No. Okay, so you were equivocating. Okay, now I'm just asking
under your view,
that's
yes.
Right.
Under my view, no.
That's right. So I'm just asking you if you have an argument.
That's right, yeah, but now...
I
just need
clarity
sense. To why we need to use your definitions.
I'm not making that claim.
Okay, then what is the problem with going by my definitions?
Because when I ask for an argument, and you mean something else by an argument, you're just equivocating.
That's circular.
What's the circularity?
The circularity is that, right? When I told you I defined this thing differently, you said I'm equivocating, right? Mm-hmm. Then I told you And then we clarified on equivocating and how I'm not equivocating, and then you still disagreed. And then when I
No, you agreed that you are equivocating by what I mean by equivocation. But when I say you're equivocating, there's something I mean, and you're not even understanding what I'm claiming. The claim I'm making is not whatever you mean by the words. It's what I mean. When I make the charge you're equivocating, there's a specific meaning to the utterance. That meaning being that you're changing the sense of the word. Now, it is true that claim is true.
Okay,
if you just change the meaning of word, of course you can get out of any claim that way.
What is the changing of the word meaning of the word means?
That I have a meaning assigned to the word, and you have a different meaning. By argument, I told you I meant a series of premises.
Definition for equivocating.
I'm not making the claim it's standard. Matter if it's standard or not.
Okay, so why should I accept a non-standard?
I'm not claiming you should accept anything.
Without any justification.
Again, I don't know what that means. Why are you asking this again? I said this 4 times. I'm never asking if you agree to my definitions. It doesn't matter.
Good job.
No, wait.
I'm not equivocating then.
Okay, I'll just make this clear. Are you changing the sense of the word?
Under your view, yeah. Under standard view, no.
Under the standard view, you're not changing the sense of the word?
No. Under standard view, I can hold to both definitions. The denotation and a definition philosophically.
Sense meaning what I mean by the word. You're not changing what the meaning of the word as I mean it, right?
No, as you mean it, I do. But under a standard definition.
Yeah, but that's not what I'm asking you when I ask. See, like, it's just like every question I ask, you just evade it by just changing what I mean when I'm asking these questions to say, no, I'm not equivocating, when that's not what I mean when I ask if you're equivocating.
A different definition than you, I'm equivocating.
Yep, that's what I mean by equivocation.
But that is a flawed definition. Under a standard definition.
I don't know what it means for a definition to be flawed, but I honestly couldn't care less. Okay, my definition is flawed. I really don't care. Is it true you're equivocating?
Okay, sure.
And by equivocating, remember, translate the meaning. Don't just use equivocation and know that I mean something, just use a different meaning. When I ask you if you're equivocating, you know what it is I'm asking you, right? Answer what I'm asking, not use the same words to just have a different question. You can do that with anything. You can just change the meaning of any string of symbols so it just conveys a different question.
This is the issue. Because under your view,
you agree you're equivocating. Okay, that's fine. So now let's just get back to the argument.
Under your view, that needs clarity. So I will ask you a simple question. If you define dinosaurs,
but do we have to quibble this way?
Which are going to fall down from to the earth, but I actually defined them by a standard definition, like very big animals that lived in some period of Earth, right? Am I equivocating or are you?
Depends who's the one who authored the word in the conversation.
Oh, so that's dependent on what equivocation is, but you didn't clarify that.
I said when you change. No, I literally said equivocations when you change.
No, you didn't. You never said throughout this conversation. It depends on who authorized the definition from the start.
Yeah, I did. Remember, I said. Well, hold on. Maybe you can remember this sentence. I said equivocations when you change the meaning of an words produced by an author. Remember, I did say this.
You didn't. If you did, then I cut out.
I'm pretty sure you know I did say this. Even Mob was here. I can bring him back and he can recall.
You didn't say it. Do you know why I know you didn't say it? Because when you said.
How about this? I'll just start typing out in the chat what it is I'm saying, because I'm certain that that's what I said. I'm just 100% confident I said that. But since there's too much confusion, it doesn't even matter if you think I say that, because at least now that you're clear, that's what I'm saying. There shouldn't be any problems. It's like you're attacking the past, which even if I was wrong, it's not my position, so it doesn't matter. But I'll just start typing it out.
Do you know? No,
because I can grant you.
So the problem with that
is it doesn't, because it's fine. I can concede that.
It does.
But I can just concede that and then just inform you what it is I'm saying.
Okay, then if you concede that, you realize that when you ask me, okay, what is an argument for premise
we're doing too much meta.
Wait, hold on. No, I'm not doing anything. You're just currently interjecting me because you're not understanding what I'm saying.
I'm saying we're both on meta, and it's not. Look, you already rendered the argument. What's substantive is just talking about the argument. We're just doing meta.
We're not doing meta.
We're literally talking. We are, because we're not talking about the argument. We're talking about how you define words, whether you should agree to definition.
Well, actually, yeah.
That's all meta.
Sorry, I misspoke. That's
all meta.
Meta because it's relevant to the conversation. Do you know why it's relevant to the conversation? Because when we're done with this,
can we just get off the meta?
Free to go. Wait, hold on. You're gonna ask me, what is the argument for premise 1 of your current argument? And I'm gonna tell you what I mean under an argument, and I'm gonna give you that. But you're gonna say, well, that's not an argument because that's not what I mean.
This is not gonna last long. You just is a rambler.
I don't have to give it in.
This is like so. Why did I even? I didn't know this guy was gonna be this bad. So don't blame me, everyone who's listening. It's a really bad conversation right now. But
you're muted for some reason. Oh my god, bro, this shit is pissing me off.
Okay, let's just get back to the argument now. So I'm just interested in. Okay, hold on. I just want to get an argument for premise 2.
And see, that is the issue. Holy shit! I just explained this, and you're still not understanding me. Oh my god.
Let's just make. Do you have an argument for
why am I
premise 2?
doing the meta?
Do you have an argument for premise 2, or?
Under my view, I do. Under yours, I don't. I haven't formalized it yet.
Well, I'm not asking for any formalization. I'm just asking if you have an argument. There's a difference between a series of premises and having a series of premises regimented formally. I mean, that's surely you know that. Just asking for premises doesn't mean I'm asking for a formal argument. But if you don't have premises, then we could just leave it here. That's fine.
I have. Oh my god. Under your definition, I don't. Under mine, I do.
Okay, then we could just leave it here. If you don't have an argument, we could just drop it here.
Premise 1, premise 2 format, I still have a reason
to
a certain theory.
Okay, that's fine. If you don't have an argument, we'll just leave it here.
Oh my god. Okay. So, what would it take you to go by what
are we
is
done
actually
here?
meant by the argument and actually go with the argument that I'm about to give you?
I'm confused. We agreed you don't have an argument. I don't.
We never agreed to that. You agreed to that. I didn't.
And okay, you said you didn't have premises supporting that conclusion.
I said I have reasons.
Yeah, but I didn't ask you if you had reasons. I asked you if you have an argument, and you know
that's what argument is.
But you're well aware that's not what I mean by argument.
You conceded. You conceded to that. You said I will concede to that. Just give me the argument.
Hold on. You're well aware that's not what I'm asking when I ask for an argument.
Yeah, but
that's dishonest.
That's not what an argument is. You agreed to that.
Yeah, but when you use the word argument, you mean something, and when I use the word argument, I mean something. Now, if it's true when you use the word argument, I haven't yet once interpreted you to mean premises. I understood you just meant a series of reasons informing an idea or proposition. But when I use argument, instead of understanding what I mean, you just keep equivocating, right? Using your meaning of the word argument, knowing that's not what I mean, which is never answering the question whether you have an argument, because you know when I ask that question, the question doesn't mean, do you have reasons supporting an idea? It means premises that infers a conclusion, right? Just been avoiding all the questions and acting as if you're not equivocating, knowing what I mean by equivocation. It's just becoming a belligerent act you're aware of. I just want to know, do you have an argument? You know what I mean by argument. Don't act like I mean the same thing as you. Answer the question informed as what I'm asking. Do you have an argument supporting the premise 2 you offered? Just yes or no.
Under your view?
What I mean by argument, do you have an argument?
In this moment, no.
Okay, so we can
make it in your.
That's fine. We can leave it here.
I could make it. I can make it just now.
Okay, so then we can come back when you have an argument.
The problem is, wait, hold on.
No, I'm saying I'm leaving right now. I'm leaving right now.
Wait, hold on. I'll let you speak. With the problem
well, hold on.
With all of that is, wait, hold on.
I don't want you to keep talking because I'm saying I gotta.
Hold on.
I gotta go.
The problem with that is.
Hello.
That is fine. So, the problem with that is you already conceded that
I'm leaving.
I don't have. Wait, hold on. You already conceded to my position, which is a standard definition. You already conceded to that because you thought it was going to be an irrelevant tangent or some shit like that, and you forgot to what you conceded to. You conceded that you were using.
I'm just going to do this because I know it's probably going to piss him off, but he can ramble. He said he wanted to ramble, so let's see if he's committed to rambling. How long do you think he's going to go for? I'll wait at least 2 minutes, no more. I don't know if I even want. I'm like a really impatient guy, so. Is this picking up my background noise? Hello? I hope it's... What time is it?
That is fucking crazy. Just for the recording.
So,
wait,
I told you I had to go, right? Because
okay.
I'm leaving. I didn't want to hear the ramble because I told you I was going, right? You already said you don't have an argument, so we're done here.
No, I have an argument.
I wanted to...
Again, you conceded that I have an argument. You can...
Well, that's that. That was pretty cancerous. Super cancerous, in fact. That was just a complete waste of time.